Hey everyone, I just bought some coins and also some bills. So there was a couple things I was looking at on eBay to buy, and there was a seller who, in the description, had I guess a deal or offer, and it said spend $250, we'll combine all the shipping. That was a challenge. So I love challenges. So it took me actually about a week to find stuff and bid on stuff and win stuff that I thought was a reasonable price in order to get past that 250 mark. So all of this here, I paid 272. I think that's a total with the price of everything and shipping. So let's get into it. I've got some really interesting stuff here. And let's get into it. So I'll go over a little bit of history because there's a couple of things that's kind of rare, and also a couple of things that have stories behind them. So let's get into it. Now I peeked inside of here. Actually, I wasn't going to do it, and my son Adam was supposed to do this video with me, but he's got a girlfriend. But so he did open it, and he looked at one thing. So since he already opened it, I decided I could peek inside a little bit. But other than just opening it and peeking inside like this, that's about all I've done. So we're going to kind of unwrap it together. Of course, I know what I bought, but I haven't seen the actual quality of it. So let's get into it. I'll start with the first thing that got me into this whole situation, which I think is going to pay off well. So I saw this going off, and I'm going to remove this. So now you know the seller. But okay, so I saw this, and it was going off, and this was the first item I bid on, and I think I paid 80 something for this plus shipping. So I'm not sure. I'm going to say 85. Let's just say 85. I'm not actually sure. I can break it down, but I don't even think that's important. So what you see here, this first coin is a 1853 half dollar. So a seated Liberty half dollar, and you see those two arrows. Now, if you're really big in the coins, you know what those arrows mean. But if you don't know what these arrows mean, I'll explain it a little bit. So these two arrows here are only on the 1853, 1854, 1855, and I think the 1856, but also the 1873, I think just that year. But on the half dollars, the quarters, dimes, and half dimes, there wasn't any half dimes in 1873, but these arrows returned in 1873 for the opposite reason why they were added in 1853. So the California Gold Rush happened in 1849. It actually happened in like 1830 something in Georgia, but the California Gold Rush happened in 1849, and between 1849 and 1853, the amount of gold that was dug up and processed and entered the market quadrupled. And what that did was it broke down the gold to silver ratio because there was more gold in the market, and it knocked down the ratio, the gold to silver ratio, from 15 to 16, and from 16 to 15, I think. Anyways, yeah, 16 to 15, regardless, whatever. But what that meant was silver became more expensive by about 7%, and that's because of that change uh, from 16 to 1 to 15 to 1. That's a 7% change. So what they did is they took 7% of the silver out of the coinage. And they did that for, again, the half dollars, quarters, dimes, and half dimes. And that was to compensate the gold to silver ratio change. So these have 7% less silver. Like here I have the 1852 had 13.36 grams and 0.3866 troy ounce per coin. And today's melt is 1561 as of right now. Right now, silver has just hit 39.50 about it. And then the 1853, this one, it dropped from 13.36 to 12.44 grams, and from 0.3866 to 0.3599, 7%. So these have 7% less silver than the ones produced in 1852 and before. And in 1857, they did the opposite. They returned the silver amount a tiny bit. I mean, it pretty much didn't change it, but they put the arrows back on in 1873 to signify that they added more silver into the coins because the ratio had changed again when they demonetized silver. Actually, prices were collapsing. But here's how much they changed. So from 1853 to 1872, it had 12.44 grams of silver in each coin, but in 1873 they changed it to 12.5. I mean, nothing. They added the arrows to let you know that they increased the amount of silver in the coins. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know why they did it. And that small, minute amount that they adjusted the silver in this coin, not this coin, but the 1873, they kept that same amount all the way into 1964 with the Kennedy 64 90%. Had the same amount. So this was lowered and they adjusted it just a hair. So here's the reverse. You can see that beautiful eagle. And this, you see the rays in the back. This is one of the only half dollars to have rays in the back. I think one of the bust half dollars. I have one with rays. So I think it's 1836. But you can see the rays, and I wish they would have kept these rays. It's beautiful with the rays, but I think it was messing up the machines or causing it to take longer to mint coins. But something extremely interesting about this, since they reduced the amount of silver, back then it wasn't exactly 50 cents of worth of silver in there. I mean, it said 50 cents on the back here. I had half doll, but you couldn't pay more than $5 in a transaction with all of these. If you had 10 of these, they didn't consider it $5. They would tell you go back and I have a $5 gold coin. Let me grab it real quick. So if you brought 10 of these, especially to do your taxes, they're really particular about taxes. But if you brought 10 of these to make a $5 purchase, they say no. We'll take like whatever. I don't know back then if they would even take 450, but the maximum was like $5. You could not spend $5 or more in just these because they didn't accept them. A lot of people would be like, no, 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 those are the reduced coins, and they actually took the arrows off in 1856. I think there are some with 1856 arrows and some without, because that was the year they took them out. But the 1857 all the way into 1872 had no arrows, even though they were to reduce coins, and they did that to kind of trick people, to make them think, or to like use kind of psychology that, oh, those are not the reduced silver content coins. So these were extremely hated, but they're collectible. These It's what, 172 years old, 172-year-old coin, in really good shape. But these the mintage on these were like 3 mil. They minted a lot of them, and that was the problem. They minted too much of these. But if you were to go pay $5, they're like, no, we need one of these. Can you bring me some gold? And that was actually pretty common, especially in the early 1800s, early to mid, and even during the Civil War. Even during the Civil War, when they introduced the greenbacks, nobody liked them, and they would consider $1 of silver equal to $2.50 of greenbacks. And then that was in 1863, and then it boosted back up to 1 to 1 after the Civil War. So people probably banked on that, the people that held those greenbacks. So I'll get on to the next coin, but look this up. I mean, it's an amazing story about. I think it was the Coinage Act. It was the Coinage Act of 1853. There was the 1792 Coinage Act, which allowed the United States Mint to mint coins. 1834, that act allowed the United States Mint to hold a depository, hold bullion instead of waiting for someone to bring it in. 1849 was the gold rush, and 1853 was where they reduced the silver. 1864 is where they introduced the greenbacks. 1873 is where they added the silver back, but they demonetized silver. In 1965, everybody knows they took the effing silver out. Okay, here is a 1904 O half dollar. Now, if you know anything about the 1901 to 1906 half dollars, these are extremely rare. Oh, S. I don't know why I said O. That hit me as soon as I said it, so that's why I might have been stumbling. But 1904 S. If you know how rare these are, you know. But I'll explain it to you if you don't. So I think 1900 to 1906. They're all low mint. This one only has a mintage of 553,000, and this one's in pretty fair shape. And this is the coin that made me buy this lot. So this coin, uh, so actually, there's a few reasons why it's so low mint. One, the bubonic plague came back. Can you believe that? Only 119 people died. Bubonic plague, the Black Plague, the one that wiped out like a third of Europe, came to San Francisco. And there was a lot of other issues. But then in 1906, the San Francisco earthquake happened, and I think it killed like 3,000 people and destroyed like 80-90% of the buildings. Like the only building that was left standing in 1906 after the earthquake in downtown San Francisco was the San Francisco Mint, and that housed some people for a while, and also it gave people an opportunity to exchange some of their gold and silver for money. It's just an amazing story if you look up the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. But this coin right here, this is probably, I'm just guessing to what I would pay for it, but or what I think a fair price would be. This is probably close to $100 coin. And this one's probably close to a $60 coin. And those prices might be a little high, but those are kind of my assumptions of now. Then it has a 46 Walker. That's pretty common, but it's still beautiful. And it has a 1958 Benji D. Okay. D's are actually the coin you want, I believe. No, I think P is the coin you want. But here's this. Let me see if I can back up a little bit and give you the whole picture. So this was the piece that made me buy this entire lot. But then, of course, it was a mission to buy $250 worth of stuff to get the combined shipping. And the combined shipping, I think I saved $22 on shipping. So, okay. Here is, I like how they put this. I thought this was going to be one coin in here. All right, so this, I think I paid a couple bucks. I'm not sure exactly how much I paid for this because, like I said, this is a package deal. But come on, this is a Canadian 5 cent. I got it upside down, don't I? See if I can zoom in. This right here is a Canadian 1901 5 cent, and if you're familiar with British history, you know that that Queen Victoria died in 1901. Even though she looks young here, she had a young head. And there's in British coins or British colonial coins or whatever you want to say. Uh, so Queen Victoria, there was a few. I think there was three portraits: young head, old head, and like fat head, something like that. But you can see she looks young here, and she was not young in 1901. But this coin is not the most valuable one, but it's pretty cool. It's a last year. There was a 1902, but King George V. I think that's who it was. King George V was on the next one. So that one's pretty cool. And here is a Morgan that's going to go in the book, I believe. No, this is a 1904. Oh, like I have a few of these, but 1904 was the last year. And that's actually another reason why this coin is a little extra rare. Because in 1904, the Sherman Act ended, and that's why they stopped minting. The Sherman Silver Act ended, and that's why they stopped making Morgans after 1904 as well. So I was talking about earlier the Coinage Acts. Well, the Coinage Act of 1873 it demonetized silver. Farmers and miners and some other kind of rural, or I would say maybe poor. Silver has always been the poor man's money, and that's why I like it. But a lot of people were mad. They were pissed. They felt cheated, and look at the story behind the Wizard of Oz. So in 1890, the Sherman Silver Act was enacted, where they were buying a ton of silver. So in 1893, they bought up so much silver that the price of silver collapsed, and then they stopped producing coins for a while because there was a panic and like, oh my god, they're printing too much. It's kind of like our inflation period at the time, and there was probably some more behind it. That was the main thing. They just were introducing too much silver at the time, so from 1893 to 1895, there's all the silver coins are scarce. I mean, they're really scarce. But the act, the Sherman Silver Act, that caused this to go out and cause in 1890 the introduction of a lot of silver was the Sherman Act, and the Sherman Act ended in 1904. So they stopped making Morgans after 1904, and that's another reason why this 1904 is so rare. All right. So here's a couple other Morgans I bought, and this one is going to go into the book. So this one is a genuine, uncirculated Morgan silver dollar, 1885, and 90% silver. Wow! So it's not graded, but it is genuine. So this one I'm going to break out. And actually, I've never broke a coin out of a holder, so maybe I'll do that over here. This one I'm going to leave in the holder because it's an 1897 and my book ends in 1896. So this one is probably going to be just for resale, kind of recoup some of my cost. But it's nice. It is really nice. It's a nice coin. So this can be yours. After this video, I'll start posting everything. It might take me a day or two, but everything you're seeing here, well, not everything, but most of the stuff that you see here will be on my eBay page. So let's get into it a little bit more. So now I have a subscriber who comments on a lot of my videos, and I really enjoy all of his comments, like I do any. But me and this subscriber have really gotten to a lot of conversations, and he comments on pretty much every video, and I enjoy it. And as his username, I'll put it on here, and I appreciate everything we've ever talked about. But it's kind of funny because I bought these and they were delivered today, and before I even mentioned anything, he commented yesterday, the day before this video was posted, about how rare the Bicentennial silver quarter proofs are, and how the United States melted down a lot because nobody was buying them, and the true mintage and survival rate's kind of unknown. It was 45 million, but so many were melted down that's estimated to be around 4 mil. Now, I don't know if all of these are proofs. They might not be because there are proofs and mint sets. There's a difference because, I did a video on proofs. You can see how it looks different. So it doesn't quite look like a proof. But this is still the silver, the 40% silver Bicentennial quarter. I'll take one out. Maybe this will give us a little bit more detail. You can see, I don't think it's proof. It could be. I'll look at it a little bit more, but it is beautiful. It is really beautiful. And I bought 5 of these. I bought 5 of these because they were just such a good deal, and next year is the I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'll put it on the screen. But is the 250th anniversary of the United States. So these will be 50 years old. It'll be the 250th anniversary, and I think these will do well. So you can see some are kind of toned, or it might have something on them. These are all just really beautiful. And here's the last one. And here's something I can clear up really quick that some people might have a question about. You can see there's an S. Now, on most coins, and even including this one, the S does not mean silver. It means San Francisco. So that S is not silver, but in a weird way, this one is San Francisco and is silver. So that's probably where that kind of confusion started, where San Francisco would mint some silver proofs and silver mint set coins and more collectible stuff. But that S does not mean silver. It means San Francisco. But this one is a silver San Francisco. So thought I'd mention that a little bit. All right, now to the bills, I believe. I think that's all the coins. So we got some kind of interesting bills here. So here's 2 here. So this is a 1928 $2 bill, and this is a U.S. note. Now, it doesn't say U.S. note on it, I don't think. No, it doesn't say note. It just says $2. So there is a difference between a $2 Federal Reserve note and a $2 U.S. note. U.S. note is where it's backed by silver or gold, or it's actually from the Treasury. It's not from the Federal Reserve, which charges interest on every single penny they give to the United States. If you don't know exactly how the Federal Reserve works, I don't think anybody really knows, but the gist of it is they loan money to the U.S. government. Think about that. Every single penny is loaned to the government with interest. It's insane. When the Federal Reserve came in place, it hijacked America, and they did it in secret. And the story goes that most people didn't even know what the Federal Reserve was, how it was founded to the 50s. Think about that. It was around 40 years before people really understood what it was. And even when they figured out what about the Federal Reserve, it was still like a conspiracy theory back then. And when you go through history, you see a lot of conspiracy theories are just truths that they are kind of hiding, or they don't want you to know because they'll have to rewrite history and they'll have to change everything if you learn or if they admit those kind of lies. Now, that's where you can kind of go down the rabbit hole, because not all conspiracy theories are true. The earth is not flat, birds are real, and all those other silly ones are ridiculous, but there are some truths. But kind of getting sidetracked. But that's the difference between a red seal and a regular green seal. This is backed by the U.S. government, not by fiat currency. So I thought this was pretty cool. This is worth a few bucks. I don't know why I keep flipping it. Yeah, I'm used to coins. Sorry, guys. I'm not really a big bill guy. But I do have a nice bill collection that I'll show you. Not in this video. Maybe I'll make another video. And here is a $5 silver certificate. Yes. So you see silver certificate at the top, and it says silver is payable to the bearer on demand. So, like I was telling you, in 1873, when they demonetized silver, it really pissed a lot of people off, especially farmers and miners, and they didn't trust the dollar. So, what they did was they started making silver certificates. And the purpose for that is to get those people to trust in the dollar, where if they wanted their silver, they could take this to the bank and pull out their silver, get some Morgans, get some other coins, or even some shots, just like really tiny bullion pieces. It almost looks like micro BBs, but that's what this is. And this is 1934. There's a lot of things about 1934, but I'll get in that to a different video. But the other bill I have actually has something to do with that. So this is the last piece. This is a $1. So this it says $1, but it's not $1. It's kind of like a wooden nickel. How stores wouldn't have change, so they give people like a wooden nickel to bring it back to kind of get them back to that store to spend that 5 cents. This is scrip. So this is not a U.S. note. But this is also not exactly a banknote. So in 1933, the U.S. was going through the Great Depression, and the presidents had just switched. So I think FDR got into office 36 hours. I think it was like a day and a half. He got into office 36 hours, and after getting into office 36 hours, he had a bank holiday from I think March 6th to March 13th. You could not pull your money out of a bank. Could not. And there's stories of people trying to deposit their money knowing they might not get it out. It's insane time. So since you couldn't pull your money out of the bank, what this was, and you'll see on here, it's dated. It's right here. Let me pull the camera up a little bit. So if I zoom in, you see right here, March 5th, 1933. So if you read this entire thing, let me see if I can read it. This certifies that there has been a deposit in the Clearinghouse Committee collateral security in accordance to the proceedings of a meeting at the association held March 5th, 1933, upon which this certificate was issued. This certificate may be used as currency. There you go. That's what I was talking about. For general circulations, and will be received on deposit by any bank or trust company in Rochester. And it has the signatures of all the people of the Rochester Clearinghouse Association. So to help with the circulation, the dollar, the money circulation, so people could buy stuff, since they couldn't get their money out of the bank, they would print these, and they would go through the circulation, and after the bank holidays, these were returned to the banks. So this is really cool. And it says if you hold it up to the light, you can see the watermark. Let's check it out. That's pretty cool. Well, like I said, most of this stuff will be on my eBay. I hope you like this video. I got a lot of cool stuff, and I'm going to put this coin in. No, not this one. Oh, yeah, I forgot to break this open. Oh, this is going to be a long video. So, I don't know exactly how to safely crack this open. I'll be right back. Okay, so I probably did the wrong way, but it's all right. It worked. I just got a pair of scissors and I cut the corner, and then I put the pair of scissors, the blade, in here and just kind of pried it up. There's probably more technical ways to do it, more professional ways, but this is a cheap case, anyways. This is not like a PCGS or NGC case. It was just one of these cheap cases, and all I care about is a coin. And a coin didn't get damaged, didn't even get touched, except for my fingers. So here it is outside of the holder. All right, and this is an 1885p. All right, nope, 1885 right here. So if you watch my videos before, you'll know that I am filling this out until it sells. So I'm going to continue filling it out. I have 2 of them, and so far there's 22 Morgans in here. So I hope you like it. Watch my other videos where I really show off all the other coins, and visit my eBay page. That's where you can support me. Never going to try to put an ad on here or anything like that. If you want to support me, go to my eBay, and if there's something that you like and it's reasonable to you, even make me an offer. Just buy it, and that's the best way to support me. Thank you for watching. There was something else I was going to do, but oh well, I'll make another video. Thanks, guys. Bye.